guys, and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it so very much. Welcome. My name is Aiden. I'm so happy that you are here. Today I have another eyeshadow rewind, all the palettes that I wore in the month of December. Yeah, I'm behind. I just barely filmed my November one a couple days ago, so now we're filming December because it's December 31st. So I have one of the eyeshadows on my eyes right now. But before I start, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what eyeshadow palettes you've been trying, what you've been loving. Hopefully this will inspire you to break out some of your older palettes too, or look for some of these classics. Some of these are still available. Not all of these, but some of these. Anyway, let me know how you're doing as well. I hope you're all like having a good new year. It's December 31st, so it's technically not the new year when I'm filming this, but it will be when this goes up. All right, the first one that I want to start with is this one. This is from Urban Decay. This is the Kristen Leanne collection. I don't even know who that is, but this is the Daydream eyeshadow palette. It was just an all matte palette. I wore this a lot this month because I had a lot of palettes that were just all shimmers. So this was a good kind of just all together palette. This is the only one that I wore more than one day. So it's going into my, like, yes, it's keeping. So this is what the shadows look like. So you have that nice white, then you have like two browns, a kind of peachy color, and then the dark brown as well. I think this is a pretty nice palette. I liked that I could, you know, use these for kind of in my crease, eyebrow, you know, up above, and then darken it up a little bit if I needed to. I didn't use that one as much, but it was a good one to kind of set the stage for some of these other eyeshadow palettes. And some of the other ones, all these other ones I wore for like a day. Such as this one. This is the Urban Decay Metal Mattes. No, it doesn't have mattes. I don't know what this is called. I never wore this. Like, it's been sitting there since this went 50% off several years ago. It's just been sitting, and yeah, it has the mirror in the middle, so it makes it really difficult. So you have a side of like more neutral mattes or shimmers, and then you have like the colorful shimmers on the side. So what I did was I wore this green, and then I wore, that is the neighbor's car across the street, so I apologize for that noise. So I wore just two shades, but I am planning to wear this more in the future. Like, this first round was kind of like, I just want to try all my palettes, see which ones I want to keep, which ones I want to declutter, and kind of organize my collection a little bit. And we're still working on that because I have too many palettes. So that's what they look like. I really like that green. Was really nice. And I really like the neutral light shimmers. Those are just right up my alley. I'll let you try to see them up close. I know the color changes a little bit, but so you can kind of see the texture. My only complaint with this is, and I think it could be the setting spray that I'm using, that I felt like once I sprayed my face with setting spray after I did my makeup, the green especially faded and it wasn't as vibrant and it wasn't as shimmery. So that could just be the setting spray that I'm using currently, but that was an issue that I encountered. So I'll show you these one more time so you get a kind of an idea. I think there's a lot of nice ones. You don't want to see my, there you go. There, you can see the colors and the mirror is not like all crazy. I have a couple more all shimmer palettes that I want to talk about, and I kind of swatched them next to each other, trying to save time just a little bit, make my life a little bit easier. So first up, I have this one from Blink. This was in a BoxyCharm absolutely years ago, but the shadows in here are incredible. They are so like soft and just they apply so beautifully. They have such a pow to them as well. A pow. I don't even know what that means, but I love this eyeshadow palette. It is over here on the side, and oh my gosh, I did all but this dark brown. Can you see like that shimmer? Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. They're so soft. This is such a good palette, even years and years later. I absolutely love it. So if you had it, if you still have it, pull it out. Yes, it's all shimmers, so it's a little bit harder to like work with because you feel like you need something else. But those shimmers are so gorgeous. They're absolutely beautiful. This one is another one that came in a subscription box. This is Model Co. and it's a metallic eyeshadow trio in Mykonos. And that's what they are over here. They are not nearly as soft. They do have quite a punch to them as well. I do like them. I thought they were pretty, but they just do not compare to this Blink formula. Oh my gosh, such a difference. I don't know if you can see, like, these are just so smooth and soft. They have a little bit more presence to them, like in terms of feel. They feel a little heavier is what I'm trying to say. I think equally stunning on the lids, but if I was working with one of the formulas, I'd choose the Blink over the Model Co. But I'm going to keep both of these because I do love both of these still. Next up, I have two of these little guys from Pat McGrath. These are the Ecstasy and Subversive and Sublime. So Subversive is all of these like beautiful jewel toned colors. You have like a purple, you have a blue, you have gold and maroon, and then you kind of have like this burgundy type of a shade too. So those are very pretty. Then you have the Sublime, which are more of the neutral tones. You have some gold, brown. You have this kind of almost shifty shade up here, which I don't think we talk about enough. And it wasn't even like till I was putting it on, I was like, oh, that has a nice shift to it. If you can kind of see how it shifts just a little bit. So we have the Sublime on this side. We have the Subversive on that side. As you can see, that one gold is just like, whoo, from the Sublime. So I'll hold them up. This is the Sublime. I did all but the dark brown because dark brown's my least favorite probably of this bunch, but they are very beautiful. I don't know if these are my favorite Pat McGraths, but they work really well. And then we have the Subversive over here. Well, we're just going to hold it like this because that makes my life easier. And they are also very beautiful. I did not do the blue because I have not worn the blue, but I do like the gold, the red. Those two worked really nice together. I think the purple would probably work too, but you're going to look a little too much like you're supporting the Minnesota Vikings if you do that. And well, I do like the Minnesota Vikings. You know, I'm a Chiefs girl, so I'm going to go with red and gold instead. These next two surprised me. These are Sephora brand palettes, but they were in a collaboration with Coach. So we have the little shark guy and we have the dinosaur. I was like, what is he? A T-Rex. They did have like little Coach labels on them. They have a keychain, so you could put these on a bag in theory. And then they open up. You can slide them over to the side, but you can also flip them open. So this is what the shark palette looks like. It is a cool toned palette. You have two shimmers in here, the purple and this darker kind of plummy shade. And then you have 4 mattes as well. And oh my gosh, I wore these and I was like, these are so pretty. And like throughout the day, I was like, wow, this is really holding up. That shimmer is still looking absolutely gorgeous. Can you see that purple shimmer? The mattes in here were nice. I don't necessarily love the tones. I'm not a cool toned fan, but oh my gosh, look at those. That shimmer is beautiful. That purple shimmer. I was loving it throughout the entire day. And you know, they lasted really well. They looked really pretty for a long time. I was very surprised, and then I was very excited to wear the dinosaur one. I also don't love the tones in this one. A little odd. This one you do need to flip up because if you're trying to like slide it to the side, it doesn't really give you full access to the fragrance or to the eyeshadows like at all. So flip it up. It works much better. So in here, we have 3 shimmers. Yes, this one is a shimmer. I have not tried this one, but you have them down here and up here, and they have that little embossing of the flower in there. And then these are the shades. So those top 2 are the shimmers at the top and the bottom, and then I have 2 of the mattes. So I don't know. The color story is a little funky for me, in all honesty, but I really loved the formula. I don't know if Sephora is normally like this, if this was just they upped their game for this particular set or what, but oh my gosh, I really loved both of these, and these are ones that I'm looking forward to wearing more in the future. I was really impressed with both of them. I have a couple big palettes on now. I tried a lot of big palettes this past month. So we have the Lime Crime Venus XL palette. I have both of these palettes, and yes, there are a lot of shades in here. This is a very warm toned, pinky toned palette. It was a quite strong look, I would say, and I went with some of the lighter tones in here. So this is not for the faint of heart by any means at all. This is what these shades look like. So they did have some fallout to them, especially the shimmers. Also, you know, the mattes did too. So not my favorite, not as good as the smaller Lime Crime palettes, like the original Lime Crime palettes. I really liked those, but I'm still going to keep it and work with it and try to do some more stuff with it, but was not my favorite, was not one that I was impressed with or like really excited about. I'm trying to decide what I feel about this one. There has been a lot of fallout with this. I don't know if you can see the fallout under my eyes. I feel like every time I get on here, I notice that my eye makeup looks funky, and it looked fine when I was upstairs in the mirror. So this is a YSL palette. This is the only YSL palette I own. This one I got like major clearance at Macy's. There are some nice colors in here, some pinks and purples, and that silver, that is what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing this purple, I'm wearing the silver, and then I'm wearing this pink and that pink. Well, so these three, and then the silver over here. That's what I'm wearing in my on my eyes. So, and then this is what they look like swatched. They are very light shades. They did build up pretty well, but they are not. They have the opposite of Lime Crime, where that was a lot and a lot of fallout. This did have some fallout. Most of it brushed away except for the silver. The silver did not brush away very well because it's more of a very shimmery shimmer, almost a topper more so than like a shimmer, if that makes sense. So I like it. I like the look. This is more my speed of a look, you know, not over like super crazy bright. This is more my everyday type of a look. We got two more. This first one, it's one I'm going to, I think I'm going to declutter this one. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another go. This is from Charlotte Ronson and Sephora. This I don't know. I got this because I was like, ooh, Charlotte Ronson. And the color story is a little odd. You have like that. I like the shimmers in here. That's what's causing me pause. The two mattes on the like orangey one and this one, they're not good. That's the orangey one. You can barely see it. The shimmers are really nice. And then that blue was pretty patchy. I wanted to go back over it, but I also wanted to show you how patchy it applied with that swatch. I don't know. That's just the closest to decluttering and my whole thing. And then this one, the one on the other side, oh my gosh, so beautiful. Love it. This one did not swatch the best, but I feel like it worked much better. This is the Mini Starlit palette by Natasha Denona. Love the shimmers. Very, very pretty shimmers. I feel like this is just kind of a good palette. Everyday kind of a look. You know, you can dress it up, you can dress it down a little bit, but you're just going to feel like put together and pretty when you wear this one. So yeah, I like this one. Let me know about the Charlotte Ronson, what you would do. Next up, we have from Beauty Bay. That's where this is from, right? Yeah, Beauty Bay. I was like, I know I got this somewhere. This is the Neutral 16 color palette. I was ordering their Disney collection, and this was pretty darn cheap. And I was like, it looks kind of interesting. It is a very neutral palette. It has nothing but neutrals. You have a whole bunch of shimmers, and so you have 9 shimmers and 7 mattes in here. And that's what they look like over here on the side. I was really impressed with the shimmers. I really love them. I wore this one. That's this pinky one right here. Oh my gosh, I loved that. The mattes were nice enough. Like they're fine. They were nothing overly special, nothing terrible about them either. But this one was really nice, and this is probably a recommend. You have to like order a lot because they're over in Europe, but it was a really nice palette, and I was really impressed with it. This one I'm more on the fence about. This is the Violet Voss hashtag palette, and yeah, there was fallout on it, so that's why the marks. That was my makeup wipe trying to clean up the fallout. that was getting on it. So this is what it looks like. It's kind of a dark palette. There's a lot of darker shades in here. You can't get like a lot of more neutral like type looks with this, right? There's a lot. So that top row is all mattes, which is what you're seeing on the bottom. And then there's a couple mattes. Well, this one in the bottom row. This one's kind of a matte-ish type of shade. It's more of like a tuxedo shade, I think is what Toddy called it, where it's like has suspended glitter particles in it, but it's like a matte formula, if that makes sense. So there are some pretty shades in here. Not my favorite Violet Voss palette in terms of color. There's some nice-ish colors in here, but overall, this isn't the color story for me. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to use it some more, try to get some more use out of it, you know, give it a full go. But I guess this one is also a matte right here. In terms of like use or color stories though, this is not my favorite, unfortunately. Next up, we have a couple ABH palettes. So we have the notorious Subculture coming up first. I love the color story in this. It makes me happy to look at when I put it on my eyes. I don't always love it. It's kind of a little nerve-wracking, but I love the colors in this. I love those dark grungy tones. That's just me. And then the other one I have is the new Fall Romance palette. So a little different, less colors, bigger pans. I don't know. I kind of liked the old one, and they don't come with a brush anymore, which is also another change. This one was a little darker than I was expecting it to be. I also had a hard time, I feel like, coming up with looks. As you can see, those two greens are pretty similar. In the two palettes, it's a little bit more brown in terms of the Subculture palette, but that is what they look like. I'm going to go in close. There is more fallout with the Subculture than I felt with the Fall Romance. These are a little bit more tightly packed, but there are some pretty colors in here. Hold them up next to each other so you can kind of get an idea. And then we'll hold up the Subculture so you can kind of see how they function. I do really like this shade right here. There's some nice shades in here that I do like, but I want to wear like the greens and the golds, and they don't always look the best on me. So yeah, they were both okay. I probably still would pick Subculture just a little bit over the Fall Romance, just because I don't know, I like the colors a little bit more in that one than this one. We got a couple blasts from the past. These are the Natural Eyes and the Natural Lust. I was like, Natural Love, Natural Lust palettes from ABH, from Too Faced. I don't know what I'm talking about, I guess. They are huge. There are a lot of shades in here. Oh my gosh, the Natural Love palette. This is just gorgeous. There was a time when this was not so much my style, but now I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. Like all these light shimmers in here. I love it. And then you got the dark shimmers over there as well. And you got some mattes mixed in there. There are some beautiful shades in here. I especially love like Kittens, this row in particular, even like this one a little bit. Yes, really love this palette. Natural Lust, not as good and like different formula, which is really frustrating because these ones are not as soft. The mattes are not as soft. The shimmers are kind of a mix. Some of them are not as soft and shimmery as other ones. Some of them are kind of rough and like more like toppers. It's just kind of a mixed bag all over the place. It is also very shiny, so it doesn't want to appear on screen very well. But this is what they look like. So Natural Lust is over here on this side. So you have that dark kind of purpley red. You can, I go up close, you can probably see that it's a little patchy with both of those. The shimmers that I chose were just not there. This one is almost feels like it has hard pan, but it's more like, I think it's just because it's a topper. It just was a little disappointing. This one felt pretty rough. They go on okay, but they're just not the most exciting or luxurious experience. I enjoy Natural Love much more. Those are these ones on this side. I feel like they just look prettier, like the shimmers. more opaque, just softer, have more of a presence to them. The mattes are definitely much softer. They're like that soft, creamy type of matte, which I enjoy. So I'm keeping both of them for now. We're going to play around with Natural Lust some more, but it's not as good. Natural Love is where it's at. We have a kind of a disappointing palette. Not disappointing enough to like automatically declutter. And I decided the Charlotte Ronson I'm going to keep and give it another go. But this is from Ciate London. This was the Chloe Morella palette. I don't know who she is. I just wanted it because it had that chartreuse, and I really wanted that chartreuse, and I thought the colors were really cool. I liked, there's so many purples and reds, like pinky in there. It's so disappointing though. Oh my gosh, so disappointing. This is what it looks like over here. This is the chartreuse on top. Can you, like, if I get really close, you can kind of see that it's a little chartreuse, but it really has no presence. This shimmer down here has a little bit more presence. That's this guy over here, but just pretty disappointing overall. I'm going to play with it a little bit more. This reminds me of the Lorac Pro formula, which I know a lot of people love. So if you like that formula, you might have liked that particular palette. But for me, it was just, I want something that has a little bit more punch. Like I want it to be just a little bit easier to work with, not build up quite so much and have to work with it as much as you do with that. And in some cases, I felt like you just couldn't build them up enough. The mattes maybe, but not the shimmers. These shimmers though are amazing. I love these. Like, I'm just gonna let you see. You got the shift going on with that bottom one. Hopefully it will show. I love that top shade so much. Oh my gosh. I've gotten compliments when I've worn this eyeshadow palette. I'm very sad that this company is no longer around. So this is the Becca Ocean Jewels eye palette. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Love it so much. So you have two mattes. You have this brown matte here, and then you have the like light matte. And I did swatch the one matte for you, but then the rest are all kind of a eyeshadow formula of their highlighters, and their highlighters were so good too. I just love this palette. Loved their highlighters. Like, if they kept putting out eyeshadows like this, I think they would have done good. I don't know why these weren't as popular, but it definitely has me. It's so pretty. Like, look at that. Oh, so pretty. It's not shifting as much on camera as I can see it shift in person. I guess it's shifting a little bit. I absolutely love it. Becca palettes were so good. We have another surprising palette. This is from Betsy Johnson, and this was at Walmart a couple years ago. Holiday set, and like the packaging is super cheap. It just, it's not even hard plastic or anything. The shades in here are beautiful though. I was very surprised, especially like this shimmer right here. Oh my gosh, I love that shimmer so much. That's this top one right here. Look at that, how it catches the light. The one next to it is this one. It's not quite as shimmery, but it does have a nice shimmer to it. The mattes are okay. They're a little patchy, as you can tell, but they blended out all right and they performed well. So this one actually really surprised me, and not that Betsy has seemed to have done any more makeup, but this was really good, and I wish her foray into makeup had been a little bit bigger and maybe not just at Walmart. Then the other one that I have swatched is the Desert Sunset by Lorac. This is one of their unzipped palettes, and I really do like their unzipped formula. This is probably my favorite of the three. They did like ocean and mountain and desert, and I really like the shades. They don't look nearly as nice as that Betsy shade, but the shimmers are a little subtle, but they're still nice. This one has more of a punch. That's this guy over here, but they're nice. They're soft. They're blendable. I like this formula so much better than the Pro formula. So yes, I liked both of those, and they're both keepers. We have two more palettes. This one is Colored Rain. This is the Loveliest palette, and this is just one of their 6-pan palettes. I have this, and then I have the Queen of Hearts palette. I don't own a lot from Colored Rain. I thought I was going to love this color story, but I don't love this color story. I like this middle shade, that one, quite a bit. The rest of them, not my favorite. I thought I was going to like the green more. I just don't think I need a different tone of green. This one's just a little too cool toned of a green for me. But that shimmer is very pretty. I do like the matte next to it, this one over here. The red was okay. I don't wear a lot of blue, so you know that already. So this was an okay palette. I need to like give it some more go. This next one is new to me, and then I just heard that they the CEO left and they sold it, so it's in turmoil. I've also heard that they have not been fulfilling orders. I got this from Ulta. So through Ulta, this is the Black Magic palette by Woma Beauty. And this originally was a collaboration with Coming to America too. And I was kind of hoping for that special packaging, but alas, they changed that, but they didn't update it on the Ulta website. So it's fine. The shades in here are pretty. I like them. They're a little more than I was expecting. So those mattes are pretty dark for sure. You can see that. The shimmers have some fallout to them. They're not as, they're kind of foiled, but they also have more fallout, if that makes sense. So they're a different formula than I'm used to. I don't have anything else in my collection that I feel like I could compare them to. They're not like Natasha Denona. They do have a presence, but they also feel like they're like, you can blend them out fine, but they're a little different. I don't not like them. I don't like them necessarily either, if that makes sense. It was an interesting palette. I don't know if I would buy anything else from them at this point, but we'll keep going. I do like the color story. Like, yeah. I'm going to cheat on this next one because I don't want to swatch it because I just don't want to ruin it any more than it is. This is a Dior. This is the, what is it called? The Atelier of Dreams. I got this from Savannah. We did a trade earlier, so thanks, Savannah. I really liked this when I wore it. If you can see the embossing on there, I don't want to like stick my finger in there. It's a little easier with a brush to kind of not mess it up, but it is beautiful. I really liked the shades in here. I liked how it looked. It's a light wash of color. It's not like super in your face or anything like that, but this was a beautiful palette. And then on the other end of the spectrum is this NYX palette. This is the Flamingo Frost palette. There are a lot of colors in here. You kind of got a wide range. You got some brights. You got some not so brights. There we go. I swatched this guy. This was probably a little bit more disappointing. That's this one right here. It's not as present as I was hoping. The mattes are nice enough. They're a little patchy when you swatch them, but they blend it out fine. And I do really like that pink. I think I wore this green. It looks like it's kind of shifty, so sometimes it looks brighter than other times. But it was a nice palette. Yeah, I don't have a lot from NYX, so it was fun to try this one, and I loved the packaging. That was the reason I wanted it in the first place. So we have that. I have 2 more palettes to go. I saved the most expensive palettes for last. So I have 2 Pat McGrath Mothership palettes. This first one is the Mothership VI, that's 6. I was like, what is that? So this is kind of has the green, has some, some of the specialty shades in here, has a few mattes as well, has 3 mattes, which not all of them have that. This one I got on tjmax.com for like $79, which seemed like a great deal at the time. I've seen them for that price since then, and I probably wouldn't spend that much again. I would look for them on sale. And then this one is the 9 VI or IV, sorry. So they're just the exact opposite. And this one is the gold packaging. I think they've done a couple different ones. This is the one that has like the gorgeous jeweled crown on the outside. And this one, I loved the color story on this one. It is all shimmers though. I did do an all shimmer look with this one because a couple of these are a little bit more like they were not in your face enough that I could do that. I wanted to show them next to each other so you could kind of get an idea. So we have all of the regular shimmers here. We have a matte. This one is a regular shimmer, same as these formula. And then these are 2 of the topper shades. So they're rougher. They don't feel smooth, and they don't like spread out super well. They're more of a, they're not ones I would put on with a brush is what I'm trying to say. So I just wanted to just kind of show you the difference in the formulas. These are so nice. I really enjoy the shimmers in here. Yeah, I like this color story, even though it has a couple of the blues in there. It really spoke to me, and I wanted it for the longest time before I finally got it, and I got it for way too much. It was slightly on discount, but it was still like too much. And then this one was just because it was the first one I ever found on sale, and that's why I picked this one up. I also have one of the more rosy toned ones that I've talked about in a previous video. So that is what they look like. That is it for the palettes. The only one that I was on the fence about really was the Charlotte Ronson. I think I'm going to give it another go. Like I said, I only tried these all one time, other than the Christine Leanne, or Kristen Leanne. I'm going to put that one in my, I've worn it. It's been good to go. So I have my 4 for 4 kind of palettes. I have my single use, which is what these were. And then I'm trying to make sure I use everything 4 times before it goes in my permanent collection. So let me know your thoughts on these. Have you tried any of these? What are your opinions? I obviously have a eyeshadow problem. I'm trying not to buy eyeshadow palettes. I was better this past year. I only bought a few. I'm going to try to be as good this next year, but there's a couple that are kind of tugging at me right now. Anyway, I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.